So you think it's a show of low self-esteem for them to go that far as?
I think it's a psychological warfare they're waging on brown people. Why? Because TV is entirely filled with, actually the life of brown people revolve around European images, and European culture and European things. And the people in such a condition cannot be said to be doing their own will. Because the old order inside them, you understand? To be that. So this can only be colonialism. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can dispute that if you don't agree. Well, but I'm gonna let you time to to make if you don't agree, you can dispute that. You can go on.
I think that's just another fight we'll never win. Especially
no, we're not talking about the fight. We're just first trying to get the picture. First we get the picture, then we're gonna talk if we're gonna win or not. Let's just talk about the picture. If you agree or if you think it's a free will or whatever, you can go on.
I mean, it's still free will, because when a woman decides to go and purchase that plastic hair, it's a choice she made, right? It's no one forced her to go, because there's still women who believe that natural is the way to go for them. Because I know a couple of women that will tell you that they don't like makeup, they're not comfortable with makeup on their faces, you know what I mean? So there's still that side of women that prefer a natural looking face and hair. And then there's those, I mean, most of the women that use makeup and hair, those are the women usually from the cities. I mean, even women who come from villages, like small villages like KwaZulu-Natal, wherever, when they get to the city, they see this now all of a sudden women with long hair or nail polish, makeup, whatever, and they fall into that pattern because generally to them when they get to the city, that's how a woman should look, you know what I mean? And then there's those women who are strong, and not even a matter of being strong enough, but they just naturally don't believe, it's not a matter of belief, they just don't feel comfortable with having plastic hair and makeup on their face. Some of them just do things the way they've been doing them.
So do you think the order in which we live, the media, the TV, has an impact on the behavior of brown African women or not?
Definitely.
Now, if the TV is shaping behavior, right?
Yeah.
And the TV looks like colonialism because it does not, there is no basis for a 80% brown African countries, 9% colored country, 8% European country, for European images to be like if it's 80 or 100%. There is no legal ground, there is no justified ground for such an order. You understand? Yeah. Now you have that order where everything on TV is like European driven. Then you can't say the women put our women put plastic hair or plastic European type of hair of their own free will, because in that case it is the media that is influencing their behavior. Don't you agree?
Media does influence.
So therefore, it's not free will, because even the order itself is not fair. That means the order it does not.
But media automatically is meant to influence some way or another, whether it's.
But it's supposed to be in the hands of the people. Therefore, the media is supposed to be dominated by the largest population, the population of the country, which is brown Africans. It means the media is supposed to be 80%. Brown African at least. And if the media is 80% brown Africans, I'm convinced that brown Africans gonna be showing themselves. The only reason brown Africans are trying to be European because the media is controlled by European and they're beaming propaganda. That's what I'm saying.
Even the brown Africans that were given the chance to maintain control over media, they were somewhat swallowed by the European ways. So,
but that is up to the leadership, the political leadership, because what is freedom? We've agreed that the whole order is a white supremacy order, right?
Yeah.
it means in this order, the interest of brown Africans, people known as black, I don't see anyway. The core interest of brown Africans, because your core
people's interest, like take brown people from back in the day, their interests were totally different from the white or the European colonization. Whereby in the olden days, black people, a normal black child or a girl or boy, her interest or his interest was white. The main installation in their mind was that a woman cooks, a woman does that, and then a man does this, a man goes to work in the mine, whatever.
But in the mines, that is already the colonial era. In the mind is already the colonial. So the oldest mindset of, if you're speaking about the mine era, it mean that mindset is already not the proper mindset of the African themselves, because there's already colonialism. Mines mean colonialism was there, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about because if we talk about mindset, the genuine mindset of Africans, we must talk about a mindset that is not influenced by colonialism or propaganda, right? So if it's a mindset that is influenced by colonialism, obviously we can't really take that into account, because right now I will say the mindset of Africans is influenced by colonialism. Because why do we feel inferior? Why would a human being feel inferior to another human being? Do you have any idea why would a human being feel inferior to another human being? What makes a human being to see another human beings? And worse is oppressor. Worse, those who are doing racism to them, right?
Yeah.
As superior. Watch and take. Do you think is it justified for people to feel like that?
The general look at things, it always went around skin color. Somehow a white person has viewed themselves as superior to a black person, whereby obviously things have changed now, but like now there are still those white people who feel that way.
But if you feel like you are superior in your brain, I'm not supposed to be concerned about how you feel. So what happened when I'm starting to feel like you're feeling? How do a European person can feel is God? But if his feeling is God, it does not affect me because I'm not there. But how come we are now having the feelings? Because racism or we feel low because we now have the same opinion as them. You understand?
Yeah.
So what makes us to have the opinion is not the information that we receive through the media and stuff. Because at the end of the day, you know Chinese, for example.
Yeah.
Chinese have got big corporations, right? But do you feel the presence of China here?
No.
No, because you don't see Chinese on TV. But if they bombard 24/7 Chinese on TV, you're gonna feel the influence of Chinese.
Yeah.
So the only reason we can start relate to the feeling of superiority is when our information is colonized by the content. And in a country that is supposed to have been freed, the government is not supposed to allow media which shape people's behavior and opinion and perspective to be colonized by the thing. The government job is to protect the interest at least of people that elect them. But when they allow the whole media to be colonized and they're just watching, I don't think
but don't you feel it's not just us brown people who are somewhat influenced by the media, but including Chinese and Indians? They also has been changes in their own little culture whereby they do things like the Europeans do things.
You can't between China and us is night and day. Why is night and day? Earlier, I brought a picture which shows a systematic and total European dominance over every spheres of our lives, from language to names to culture to identity to everything. But if you look at the Chinese society, so basically the picture I gave you show that it is the European rule that is ongoing. You understand? But if you look at the Chinese government, the Chinese people are under their own rule. In China, the main language of communication is Chinese. The identity the people have Chinese. The movies the Chinese see on TV, Chinese people. You won't go see a lot of. So everything in China is them. So if there is an influence that a European influence that got to them, they have out of the free will, you know, brought it in the society. But in the case of brown Africans, it is a systematic colonization that is ongoing, because it is not normal for a people that are supposed to be free to have to be under such a dominance. You understand? You agree?